My name is Jo Fair and I'm the Career Zone Manager in Student Services. Many students will ask us about the best ways of researching companies that they would be interested in working for. So I've been meeting with some colleagues in BIAD to find out their views, and we've put together this short film with their suggestions.
I think one of the best ways is to try to get out to as many trade shows and exhibitions as possible, particularly for students within our field. Going to the London Design Festival every September is an absolute must. Lots of companies who advertise graduate design jobs do so in publications like Design Week, and graduates who are looking for perhaps product or furniture or interior design roles. That's a really good place to start. And our students also have access through the Athens login system, through the library's electronic research resources, to the mad.co.uk website, which is marketing, advertising and design, which is normally a subscription service but gives them free access to their jobs bulletin board, which is really, really handy.
One of the ideas I would suggest is they look at either professional or business associations. So for instance, in design, there's the Design Council, which is a government-funded body in the UK. There's the Chartered Society of Designers, and there's an organisation called the Design Business Association. And that organisation, the DBA, they have a website, which if you go onto their website, you can actually search, and they have a list of their membership, and anybody can register on the website and search the membership by both geographic location but also by the discipline that they operate in. So you've immediately got hundreds of design consultancies listed for you to access. Another idea is business or professional publications. I've got Design Week here, but any particular sector that a student's operating in, they should be able to identify the business publications. And what you'll find in there usually is recruitment adverts, usually at the back, and this copy I've got here has probably got about 10 or 15 job ads, which obviously immediately they've identified that those businesses are working with designers or in that sector, but also you've got contact details, addresses, websites, so on. An example of in the magazine that I've got this week is a story on a company that's had its packaging rebranded, redesigned, and within that story the name of the company's identified, the marketing manager's identified, the designer and the design company are identified, so you've immediately got a route in.
Particularly if I'm talking about visual communication, I'd be talking about graphic design companies, advertising agencies, publishers. But if I'm talking about fine art, I'm looking at maybe not companies so much, but galleries, opportunities to do curatorial practice, curating shows, maybe museums. But other than that, we would suggest that they go and look at magazines like Creative Review, Design Week, Varoom, I Magazine, and often in the back of there's adverts that are asking for graduates or people who might have had experience to go and work in particular placements.
I think a lot of the work can actually start within the course because a lot of what you do will actually be linking up with outside organisations, people that may support you in terms of building project briefs, supplying materials, access to new technology which you may not have at college, and sometimes that can actually spark a link, a constructive link with an organisation that could actually lead on to a placement or even a job opportunity. I think the other thing is actually to go around exhibitions, to obviously trawl websites and find out the companies that you actually feel some sort of sympathy with, something that actually matches with your career aspirations. Finding out the exact organisations, I think exhibitions and meeting up with people face to face on exhibition stands can actually be a very good way of someone saying, I met this wonderfully enthusiastic individual, they seem to understand the basics of the industry.
I think before they do that, they need to look into themselves and think about what makes them tick, which conditions they prefer to work in, whether they like to work in large teams, individually, whether ultimately they want to be self-employed, and then to target specific organisations that might suit them. Well, it might be companies that they're particularly interested in, admire the work of, or even just online searches. They need to think deeply about what those companies offer, how they work, the size of them, where they're located even, before they jump in and start approaching them.
Colleagues from the jewellery school weren't available for filming, but they got quite a few nice suggestions. They really reinforced the importance of doing research and also the importance of going to exhibitions and trade fairs, but also looking to societies or trade associations to identify companies to work for. They've also given me a list of contact associations they might want to contact. One is the Association for Contemporary Jewellers, there's Design Gap, and there's the Designer Jewellers Group.
Well, I think it's really important in the first instance to think about the sectors that you're interested in, read generally in the media about the area, get a broad feel for it, but then you might look at trade associations, sectoral bodies to get a more in-depth look at those sectors. Try to identify the leading companies in an area, and of course you can look to get their company reports, their marketing material, but also if you want to understand more strategic or policy issues affecting those sectors and businesses specifically, you can go to organisations like the CBI, the Institute of Directors, the Chambers of Commerce, or think tanks like the Work Foundation or other leading think tanks.
As you can see, there are many different ways to research companies and approach different employers. But if you'd like further information and advice, either talk to your course tutor or come and talk to staff in student services, and we'd be very happy to help.